right, welcome everyone to the latest episode 3 of Chronos Stream. Right, my name is Jay. I'm part of the Chronos Labs partnerships team, and welcome to the Chronos Stream. Right, the Chronos Stream for the new viewers today. Right, it is a stream where we invite projects that are building on Cronos Chain, or projects of any size. Right, it can be projects that launch, one of the OG projects, or it can be a project that is new to the chain. Right, we invite founders or spokesperson of the project to come onto the stream to share more about their project. Right, if you see the current slides, there are two QR codes. The first QR code on the top left is where you can scan and access the Cronos Chain YouTube channel, and the bottom QR code is where you can find the questionnaire form. If let's say you have a question for any of the speakers of the in the stream today, right, feel free to scan the questionnaire form and submit your questions. Right, once again, a disclaimer that all information and updates shared in this stream are meant to be informational and not financial advice. Right, so let me introduce the panel today. Right, once again, my name is Jay. I'm from Cronos Chain partnerships team, and together with me, we have 5 speakers. Right, firstly, Ken, head of Cronos Labs. We have Curious Viking, the communications lead at CroSkulls. Next, we have Manny, who is a co-founder of Cronosverse. We have Ian, right, CEO of Crolon Mars, and last but not least, Maddie, also known as Dadoune, right, co-founder of Bot Candy City. Right. So how this stream will run, it's each of these 4 projects that we have with us today: CroSkulls, Cronosverse, Crolon Mars, and Bot Candy City. Right. Each project will be given 10 minutes to talk about their latest updates. Right. What's the exciting thing happening within their projects, and then really giving you guys, right, what's happening with their projects. Right. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Firstly, we have CroSkulls. So, Curious Viking from CroSkulls, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Jay, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with each of the projects as well as you and Ken. So I'm very happy and excited to be here and to be able to share about CroSkulls.
Yeah, so CroSkulls, you guys have been one of the very early NFT projects on Cronos. Right, if I believe it's more than a year ago that you guys started building on Cronos. You guys obviously have one of the fast growing and largest community on the chain. So firstly, give a quick introduction about yourself and about CroSkulls if, let's say, someone's hearing about you guys for the first time.
So I'm Curious Viking. I'm the spokesperson for CroSkulls. I've been with the community since mint day. So we actually had our 1-year anniversary on the 29th of December. So CroSkulls, it's a GameFi project which is centered around the city of Bonesville and its inhabitant. Bonesville's original inhabitants are the CroSkulls, who love to go on adventure and to explore the unknown regions of the underworld. Now, there's currently only 6,666 existing CroSkulls. Now, the CroSkulls Adventures, each season of CroSkulls Adventures explores a new region of the underworld. Now, these adventures are 100 days long, and during these 100 days, the CroSkulls generate the main token of our ecosystem, Grave. Grave is used to generate assets within the ecosystem, as well as participate in certain activities within our D app, for example, the raffles. Now, during the adventures, each CroSkull generates 3 Grave daily. Now, the CroSkulls, they must be staked within the adventure section of our D app, and it's also from here you can claim the Grave accumulated each season. Now, during the adventure season, the Bonesville merchant has a limited stock of 2,200 seasonal eggs. Now, these are minted with the main token of the ecosystem, Grave. Now, these eggs can be hatched within the laboratory section of our D app. Each season's eggs hatch into that specific season's seasonal pets. So for season 1, we had the Skull Lions, season 2, the Skull Owls, and season 3, it was a community picked pet, the Skull Crabs. Now the pet, and as well as our Evo Skull collection, works on top of an ERC 721 edited version that the team named the ERC 721 Evo contract. Now all the stats for the pets and the Evolve Skulls are managed on chain, following the team's goal of a fully decentralized logic. So by using the standards, the pets and the evil skulls can participate in the already implemented missions and battling system in the future. Now, the missions, these are the pets, of course, are just as adventurous as the CroSkulls. So they have their own adventure, which is the missions. Within the mission section of our D app, you can send these pets on missions, which generate the second token of our ecosystem, souls. Souls are used within the ecosystem currently to add experience to the pets. You also have the ability to convert this to a tradable version of souls within our fountain section of the D app if you wish to sell it. Now, the pets, they don't always return unscathed from the mission. So upon returning from their missions, the pets can get afflicted by a debuff. Now, these can be remedied by purchasing the mystery boxes found in our merchant section, which randomly contain a remedy that heals a certain affliction on the pets. Now, pets from the same seasons can be sent out in bulk together, meaning they can be sent out using only one transaction. And you can increase your pet's levels once enough experience has been added to it by our ecosystem third and final token route. Now, increasing the level yields more rewards
Right.
from.
Curious Viking, I understand that, right? CroSkulls has, you guys have created a very gamified experience for, a lot of your, you guys have multiple NFT collections and also multiple tokens, right? And just for the benefit of, perhaps a new user who might be hearing CroSkulls for the first time, it might be a bit too deep for them to understand. But I think that the high level idea here is that I think you guys have created a very gamified experience with your NFT, and that's the goal that CroSkulls started out with, right? Am I getting the right direction?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Right. So if let's say, obviously you guys have been on the chain for a year already. Many things have changed, right? You guys started with just an original CroSkull collection, and now you have many new collection. Right? If let's say like a user who goes to your website right now, right, what would be the top three things that you will recommend him to check out and do?
Top three things is the adventure section, the mission section, and the bank section. For example, for entry into for a new user to come, the best way to explore the ecosystem is by getting a CroSkull pet, which will allow you to participate in the mission, and will you will have to use the different sections of the D app. For example, the Hall of Fame will allow you to see other players' pets and how they rank against each other. The mission section to send it on missions. The tavern section to manage your pets, and the merch item shop, the merchant section to uh, if you either want to mint your own pet and hatch it yourself within the laboratory section, or if you're participating in missions and then you have your pet return from the missions to with some debuff, you will need to buy the remedy from the item shop section. So if you're entering the DF for the first time and you don't know where to start, of course, getting an NFT for the ecosystem would be the best point to start. But in order to read upon what already exists in the ecosystem, I would suggest the CroSkull Gitbook, because it contains information of all the different sections of our D app and what their function is and for what their purpose is.
All right. You guys have come a long way with many different NFT collections and also many different functions that each NFT collection can perform. So I believe it might get slightly confusing for, let's say, someone who's new to the ecosystem or a beginner user into the NFT project. But let's say you are someone new and hearing about CroSkulls the first time, do reach out to the team on their Discord or their Twitter to get started, right? And as you can see, CroSkulls has developed quite a gamified experience with their NFTs, and it seems like the whole experience is fully on chain, right?
Yes, everything is on chain. So we within 2022 we reached the milestone of having 40 plus smart contracts deployed on our D app.
Wow, 40 over smart contracts in a single dApp. I mean, that's a very, you guys have been very ambitious. But then I think, especially for a new user who might not be too familiar with like smart contract risks, how are you guys currently mitigating, right, all the different kind of smart contract risks? And it seems like you guys have very custom made smart contracts.
Now, the smart contracts are made by our head dev Hiyutaki or Alcabones. He usually sometimes stream when he makes the contract, but for the function of the smart contract, there's always usually a medium release to explain what the purpose is for each new contract and what its purpose is within the ecosystem. We have a very helpful community, so when we get new people joining the Discord or asking questions on Twitter, there's usually always someone responding to help out new members. And it's we've been lucky to have such a good community that is always helpful to newcomers.
Okay. All right. So I think come to the end of the time for CroSkulls, but curious Viking, any final words that you want to share with the audience today with regards to CroSkulls?
I want to share the main focus for 2023. That the focus will be to complete the roadmap and release the CroSkull Council, which will be a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, as well as the battling system for the pets, but as well as implementing the Diamond Standard proxy contract that will help the developer to upgrade the contracts, add features, without having to redeploy from scratch the contracts. So going forward, that will be the focus.
All right. So new product features, technical upgrades to your smart contract development um, approach, right? So looking forward to these two updates, right? So thanks once again, Curious Viking from CroSkulls. Let's bring on the next project and speaker, right? Manny from the Cronosverse. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jay, and thank you. And thank you to Ken as well for having us on Chrono Stream today. We're super excited to be here with all of the listeners today and also these wonderful projects that are here with us.
Yeah, for someone who has not heard of Cronosverse or even about yourself, right? Give a quick introduction.
So the Cronosverse basically is a metaverse project on the Cronos Chain, with also multi-chain connectivity, but the focus is solely on our slogan, which is the metaverse on Cronos. So we're basically fully functional right now on Cronos, built on Unreal Engine 5. And our game has been live for about 5 months. Our team's been together for just over a year, and our project's been around for just around 1 year. I think it's the 1 year anniversary this week, officially on Twitter. So our team is a team of game developers, 3D artists, web developers, 2D artists, as well as myself, who's the spokesman for the project. And we started off our very first mint in April of 2022. We had 1,208 land tiles that we had minted and sold out instantly. And since then, we've released our game back in August. And I think right now we're on the 6th official patch. And so we've done some really interesting stuff in this space. We've done 2 AMAs and 1 concert within the metaverse. And that was the first time, from our understanding, that that's happened with any Cronos project. So on November 19th, we had our very first AMA in the metaverse, which had a tour of the entire Cronosverse, including all of our project partner buildings and private lands owned by people that had started developing their metaverse homes, and music performance by 3 different Web3 artists on Cronos. And we just had another metaverse event featuring 2 of our partner projects on December 27th. Wow. So we got a lot of things going.
Like all the events, how was the attendance? How in the metaverse? Like how was the feedback from those events?
So the feedback's been really good, and the numbers that are attending are growing. So we have 3 ways of joining those events. We'll have another one here at the end of January. So users can either join the Twitter space and listen in as passive or active listeners with audio only. And on Twitter, we had, I think, over 250 people listen in to our last event. We also have a live video stream of one of our team members walking an avatar through the Cronosverse, which is streamed through Discord. And I think we had like 20 or so people streaming. And then we have the ability for anybody that is an NFT holder of our project to actually log in and join us in the metaverse. And so I think we maxed out at around 20 people at our last AMA at one time, and that user base is growing every single day.
Right.
So we're hoping we're kind of reached capacity for one server, so now we have increased to 3 servers, and hopefully we can get that number to double or triple here in the very near future.
Right. So I want to touch on your last point where you're talking about a user who holds a Cronos NFT can go into the Cronosverse to do something, right? Can you slightly elaborate more about the something, right? What would be a couple of things that a user who enters the metaverse can do?
So the very first, we have 2 collections. So our first collection is our land tiles. We have 1,208 land tiles with different utilities. So there is a plains tile, which is more like a rural property, a suburban tile, which is designed to house homes and more of a suburban feel, and then commercial tiles. They all carry the same basic function that they allow users to go in and build as they see fit. So they can either import a 3D asset to put on their land, or they can build with all the 3D meshes we provide. And they can build basically anything from like a farmhouse to a American colonial house to a commercial building. Inside their metaverse space, they can add all full Web3 connectivity by basically using NFT frames that we provide in game, hang them up on their property. They can type in the URL to their NFT or any website they would like to display, any decks, and users can walk into that person's metaverse property and take a look, whether they're using it as an art museum or if they're using it as a business. So that's one way to participate, and the other way to participate is to just have a Crovillion NFT, which is a PFP collection we released in August. There's currently 5,800 of them in circulation, and those will also grant you access as basically a citizen of the Cronosverse to walk around, visit properties, do your NFT shopping, visit one of the many project partners we have in the metaverse to either learn about a project, to learn about DeFi, to learn about NFTs, to visit our venue and hear some music from one of our Web3 performers, or to stake the Crovillion to earn Verse token, which is the token that will be needed this spring to buy the various digital assets we will be releasing, such as furniture, in-game clothing, and a number of other items that's coming very soon.
Right. So you mentioned about partner projects. Maybe you can share which partner projects has the deepest integration and what can a user do for that partner project.
Yeah, so we have a long list of partner projects, and the number is growing every day from people that either exist in downtown Crotopolis of our city, or people that hold private lands and are growing out the lands themselves. So one of the big ones is Abyssus Bay. So they have 16 land tiles downtown, and they have a full NFT museum. And the NFT museum basically is generating random tokens from the various smart contracts they have on their platform. So every time a user enters the Abyssus Bay Museum, they're going to get a wide variety of different NFTs from their marketplace, and it changes every time. So they're not coming in to see the same. So it just basically creates a 3D immersive environment for the NFT buying experience. Another example of another partner project is CroSkulls. They have a haunted house in our metaverse as well, where you can go into their house and you can take a look at all the different NFTs using the same concept as the art museum. Take a look at different things from their ecosystem. You can go underground of their house, launch their various websites and their adventures that they have. And then if you go on the roof of the CroSkull building, you can actually transform into a skull character and walk around the metaverse in what appears to be a CroSkull.
Right, that sounds exciting. And shout out to Nathan and the Ibiza's Bay team. So I've also checked out the gallery. It's very polished, and it creates this experience where you can natively buy artwork from the gallery. So for someone who has never heard of Cronosverse or wants to get started, right? How can they get started?
The best way is to visit us on Twitter at the Cronosverse, and you'll find in our bio links to our website and also to our Discord. In our Discord, you'll find all sorts of information on the project and be able to talk to our team directly, as well as our community members. Our Twitter has all sorts of content, both user-generated content. And the interesting thing is, we were just talking in our Discord yesterday that our user-generated content is now starting to outpace our team-generated content because our user base is growing very rapidly. So those would be the first two places to go. And then finally, once somebody's ready to immerse themselves into the metaverse, they could go to the Cronosverse.com, create an account, and download our game.
Okay. And if you were to share, one exciting update that you guys are working on, right? What would that be?
So it's our next NFT collections are going to be digital 3D assets that people can mint, and using our native verse token and also Cro, they'll be able to mint digital property to use inside the metaverse. Things such as furniture for their homes, apartments, condos, office buildings, all sorts of different stuff that we have the luxury of having in the real world, but now what we call phygital items, coming very soon this spring.
All right. Okay. Right. Thanks so much, Manny, for sharing about the Cronosverse. If you are someone who has heard about them the first time and you want to check out metaverse, right, to build, to check out other buildings, right, to build your own buildings, right, to check out partner projects like CroSkulls, Ibiza's Bay, I believe MMF have a building in the Cronosverse as well, right? Do check out their website, download their client, and get started, right? Oops. Okay, right. Okay, let's move on to the next project, right? Thanks so much, Manny. But firstly, before moving on, if you have any questions for any of the speakers today, right, do scan the QR code on the top right corner of the page, or just type in the URL, and you'll be brought over to an Airtable form for you to submit your questions. Okay, next speaker, we have Ian, the CEO of Crolon, right? How are you doing, Ian?
Hi Jay, hi Ken, hi everyone. Yeah, doing fine. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm ready to go. So,
yeah, I'll repeat myself. Right? Give an introduction about yourself and about Crolon.
Yeah, so my name's Ian Corey. I'm from the UK, and I started building Crolon Mars around 12 months ago, around the same time as Cronosverse. It only made sense as building on the Cronos Chain. I love the progress of this chain. It's a new chain, and I think it's going in the right direction. So we decided to build a metaverse GameFi project, and we wanted to build a metaverse. We didn't want to just build any metaverse. We wanted to kind of set us a challenge and make it easier in Web3 for people to access metaverses to metaverse, because I believe as a whole, if we stick together in Web3 and build together, that's where we're going to be successful, instead of the big guys coming in and just taking the limelight from us. We're working hard here to build, and I think building relationships on the Cronos Chain and making a difference, we can build out the multiverse, because we intend to interlink portals from meta worlds to meta worlds, and make it easier access for users to like maybe we collab with Cronosverse, so you can jump from Crolon Mars's metaverse, easy access into Cronosverse, and so on. And like I said, by building together, we're stronger. We don't have no Mark Zuckerberg coming in and taking it for us, right? So I just want to, try and make it easy access for everybody, and just continue to build. Currently, what we have built already, so we haven't released any land yet because I want to make sure everything's perfect and smooth. But what we actually do have is a play-to-earn game built within the meta world. We wanted something tangible and something that helped the native coin Crow grow as well. So we decided to not pay out the rewards for the play-to-earn game in Crolon Mars token, because eventually people will have to sell them, right? So we wanted to bring the utility to CRO. So to play the play-to-earn game, you can just mint an in-game pass for as little as 100 Crow, because I wanted everybody to enjoy the experience. Some people are in different parts of the world, just don't have $100 or $200 to just go into a project and play. So, we had to take that into consideration. So there is an in-game pass, unlimited supply for people to just go in and play and fly around the track. We've got like a Star Wars pod racer theme, and you collect boosts and coins on track, and then in-game we have an in-game swap. You can just swap that directly to Crow. That's actually live now. You can go to crolonmars.com, and there's all information on the website. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to use. And there's some educational videos on there also. So that's kind of what we have live at the minute. Our current NFTs, we brought utility to our NFTs. We only have a selection of 730 3D NFTs that are optimized to the metaverse. We wanted to keep these a small supply, to make them really valuable. However, these NFTs can, depending on the rarity, you will get, whereas you play on the in-game pass, you'll just get a ×1. But the NFTs, a Crolon, you'll get up to a ×4x. So that collection, we didn't want to just like do 10,000 and just make them not valuable. We want these to be valuable, kind of like an Axie Infinity valuable, where eventually people might rent them out or stuff like that. So that's
Right.
kind of what we wanted for the NFTs, and that's what we've got now.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions. So sorry for interrupting. Right.
It's fine.
Let's say, right, I go into Crolon Mars right now. Right, what would be one of the key activities that I can do?
So you can go. The cool thing is, we have a mobile version, so you can earn Crow on the go. It's a good theme, right? Earn Crow on the go. We kind of use that as a marketing tool as well. So you can actually. Our game's not a downloadable game. It's a WebGL. It's built on a WebGL, and that's what I wanted for the metaverse thing. And we also wanted to bring it to mobile, so you can actually download the mobile version, and it's got a Mars wallet built in. So if you're somebody new and you wanted to start earning Crow or get involved in Crolon Mars, then all them details are on our website. To there's a link to download the game, or there's a link to play the WebGL game. So, and it's pretty straightforward. We wanted it to be easy access, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But let's talk about the activities, right? Like the game loop or the experience loop, right? What, like, let's say a user who enters the game on your website, what would be the first activity that he will be checking on? Or he should be?
Yeah, the first that you can. So basically, you can enter the metaverse, and we've got NFT museums, we've got VIP lounges, and like I said, we've got the play to earn game built within inside that metaverse, and you can go to explore, or you can go to the play to earn, which is like I said, it takes you get in your pod racer and you go around the track, and it's got it's got a leaderboard function, so we can put events on. People can do time trials. People can wager if they like. So they can actually enter the metaverse now and like I said, go to either the play to earn and then Crow, or they can enjoy running around the Mars metaverse It's currently undergoing a massive update. So, kind of Grand Theft Auto theme is just about to happen in the next 3 to 4 days. It's all set. It's all ready. So we add in proximity voice chat. You know, like in Call of Duty, you can, when you get close to a player, you can talk to them. Now, this has been added. A vehicle pack's been added, and some more characters, and a shooter pack, so you can pick guns up round, and people can have like a little battle royale in there, talk to people. But the cool thing is once we drop the NFT marketplace in there as well, like this is this week as well. This will be going in this week. People will be able to sell their NFTs on voice chat. So I can talk to you, and you can tell me how you came about making that piece of art, or and then barter with people with a price and sell an NFT live in the metaverse. So
okay. And I also want to touch upon the point where you say, play to earn, right? Play to earn, this term, it's, as we have seen from the past year, it's quite a double-edged sword, right? It's a good feature to acquire users, right? To get gamers into the game. But then the question about sustainability, how do you see this issue, and like regarding the sustainability of play to earn?
Yeah, so we took this into account, and we, from the sales of the current NFTs, we put to one side a pretty substantial amount LP to get the game going, and also the game kind of pays for itself when to play the play to earn. You obviously have to have 100 Cro in your wallet, and you can. The more people that plays, that pot goes straight to the play to earn game, and also some revenue from the metaverse will be going to sustain that. At the minute, with the current users that we've got, it's sustainable, it's doable. As we grow, we'll be able to adapt to the ever growing climate and the amount of users. I mean, let's say we get 1 million users. I'm not going to say we do, but if we got 1 million users, that would give a substantial amount of rewards to the pool, and it would also benefit the actual market cap of the CRO coin itself. We took everything into account, and we have a backup. We've got a backup. We always have a backup plan in case something. We can adapt to that. So there is a proportion, even the Crolon Mars tokens that we've got to use for that, and we've got 7% put to one side, which is locked away for backup for emergencies or anything like that. So we kind of covered every aspect.
Okay. Thanks for the explanation, right? And for all the viewers here, regarding like any form of investment, or would it be purchasing an NFT or playing a play to earn game, right? Always remember to do your own research, right? Craft your own investment theses, right? To really assess, right, whether it's something that you want to jump right in, right? If Crolon Mars is right for you, right, you can go to their website, read their white paper, or even reach out to their team. I believe you guys are active on your Discord or your Telegram group, right? Chat out with Ian, right, to find out more about the project. And so before I move on to Bot Candy City, any final words from you, Ian?
Yeah, just like you said, if anybody's got any questions or anything like that, the team is on hand 24/7. We have got a big team, and we just about to drop the new utility or in the next couple of days. It's in final testing. So the NFT marketplace DApp is another utility added to the Cronos Chain, which is going to be amazing, and it's going to be in the metaverse as well. So thank you for your time, and thank you for letting us speak today. It's much appreciated.
Right. Thanks, Ian, for sharing, and Crolon Mars for you. Right. And last but not least, we have Bot Candy City, and we have Maddie, or some of you might know him as Dadoune. Right. Hey, Maddie, how's it going?
Hey, Jay. I'm good. How are you?
Great. And also give a quick introduction about yourself and Bot Candy City.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'm Mehdi. I'm kind of a boomer in this space. I've been around. I've been working full time in the crypto space since 2017. That's when I quit my last corporate job. I used to mostly work in banking and in traditional finance. And we started out with my partner with two other blockchain companies, not on Cronos, nothing to have with DeFi. It's we run a Socialify app and a private blockchain for B2B for companies. So when we decided to create Board Candy City this last year, what I forgot to say is that we're all Crow fam. I think I'm personally invested in the ICO of Crypto.com, like since the inception, and we're a team of 5 based in Switzerland. The company is registered in Lausanne here. This is our office, and since we've been in Cronos Chain since its inception, and we've invested in almost all the projects that were around, that are still around. And when we decided to make Board Candy City, is that for us, as we see the blockchain like it was before, like it's supposed to be. It's completely decentralized, peer-to-peer, and where there's absolutely no middle person. And this is tending to change lately, especially when with the DEXs and AMMs. They are, of course, decentralized. It's not like using a centralized exchange, but besides the name and the fact that there is no KYC, there is no much difference. You still pay for swap fees, and those swap fees are divided into benefits for the company itself, and the rest goes to the LP holders. What we came up with is more of a community project for us. The DEX itself is a simple off-ramp and on-ramp into Candy token, the main token of our, the only token of our ecosystem. So we said from the start, and that's what we've been doing up until now. We take 0 revenue from the DEX. So if you must know, there are 2 particularities with the Candy City. The first one is that we set the swap fees at the lowest level in Cronos Chain. Before it was MMF at 0.17%, and now it's us with 0.15%. That's not it. We just give all of it back to the LP holders and the 2 Candy holders. 2/3 go to the LP holders, and the other 1/3 goes back into the protocol-owned liquidity. So I think that's what's attracting users to our DEX today, because when you're just here to swap, like you want to buy Crow, for example, of course you'll always be attracted to the DEX with the most liquidity, because that's where you get the most Crow for USD, which is normal. Slippage is usually better when there is more liquidity. Right. But I think knowing that you're giving all of it just to the liquidity holders, like the people that are making the DEX run, has been a unique trait of our DEX, and attracting people to us. And it just so happens that today, for some pairs, you can get better prices at Board Candy City than in bigger DEXs, like for Link token, for example, like Chainlink and others.
Right. So in the realm of, basically, I'll call it like AMMs or Uniswap V2, similar DEXs. I think we have seen multiple of them on Cronos Chain. And how are you guys trying to position yourself?
So again, since for us the DEX is not the main product, we use it to on-ramp users into the Candy token to use for our other products that we'll talk about later. We don't see the other DEXs as competitors. We actually talk to most of them and have partnerships working up. We think that there is enough space in Cronos for everyone, and that of course the users will always choose the DEX that most work for them. We do have the lowest fees, but again, like I said, to be honest, it doesn't mean that you always get the best rate, because you get the best rate where there is most liquidity. And I think people are just looking for a whole experience, and we do provide that because we're not just the decks. There are the NFTs and everything you can do with them in the decks. They're like our NFTs have, people say, like our community say, they have 9 utilities, but they do. And the games, of course, that we're running, that's what attracts people.
Okay, then now let's dive into this other side of like the non-dex portion of Bot Candy CT, right?
Yeah.
If a user checks you guys out, what would he be able to do?
So of course you can do anything you can do on other dexes, swap, farm, and stake Crow, or even earn Crow. We have a stake candy, earn Crow single pool for people who don't want to be exposed to the market, and we have an NFT collection of 10,000 PFPs. Those can be either staked for a fixed amount of candy per day, or staked in a different staking to share a portion of our revenues, or used to boost the farms or the single pools. And well, since we have been on the top volume in minted, you can also get some minted rewards for them. So that alone have been some kind of game. It's like a game theory, and I see our community every day debating what's the best thing to do with the NFTs today. Should I put it here, or in this staking, or in that staking, or to boost, or something else? And that was intended, of course. And since again we do share our revenues with the NFT holders as well, it's been a great journey so far. And the third part, and the one we're focusing on, especially in this year, is the play to earn games. So we have one of the first mobile games, play to earn mobile games in Cronos Chain. It's been approved by Apple and Google back in November. We've been and it's really very simple puzzle game. It's I think everyone here and everyone listening knows Candy Crush. What we did is, since we are called Board Candy after all, we created another a different candy puzzle like that, and we were trying to follow Crypto.com's steps by onboarding new users. So we know that those games have like huge player base. Candy Crush alone has like 250 million users, and they make billions every year just by in-app purchases. So that's what we're trying to do. We're not just using it so that our community can spend their candy somewhere else. We're also using it to on-ramp and attract new users to Cronos Chain and to the blockchain. And that's why we had in-app purchases activated like since day one. And I think the game on its first few weeks, since there was 2 different earning mechanisms, have made somewhere around $4,000 in-app purchases. So people that actually bought candy using credit cards just to play the game. Unfortunately,
Right.
we had, of course, some legal issues with Apple. We know how they're not really in the they don't really like NFTs and crypto, and they've been public about it. I'm actually proud to say that 2 days ago we finally figured out a solution with Apple. We had all their requirements done, and that's great. That means that our game is back on track, and people are going to be able to start to play and earn again. And we also figured out the main problem we had before is linking the chain part, so the wallets and the NFTs, the tokens, into the off-chain part, because the mobile app is absolutely off-chain. And we have all as well figured that out. Our users will be able to, starting tomorrow, to stake their NFTs in a web app and have them seen in their mobile apps, and deposit and withdraw candy seamlessly as well.
Got it. Okay, so just now you mentioned that right this year you guys will be focusing right deeply into the gaming arm of your protocol, right? And when you say focusing, are you guys developing further, right, this Candy Crush like hyper casual game, or would that be like new game titles that you guys are developing?
Yeah, so our target this year is to create actually 6 new mobile games. This one was like our tryout. We had many gray areas with the legal ones, and with Apple, we didn't know how far can we push it. Once we got to now, I think we are at 90% accomplishment of our game module. So we already have the betting against UI, the leaderboard earning, and we're still working on the multiplayer that's going to be ready in a few days. Once we have that, we'll start just to replicate and use our web app to onboard more and more mobile games. So we'll create some ourselves, and we'll start also taking applications from other Cronos projects that are interested in making either their existing play-to-earn games mobile, or just simple mobile games that want to start in the play-to-earn section of the world.
All right. Okay, thanks for sharing about your roadmap. And before I end things off, any final words from you, Mehdi?
I just want to take this opportunity to thank, first of all, the TRT team, TRT of Cronos. For those of you who don't know them, they're like, for all the hard work they do with us, and we have been blessed to have met them. And the Candy fam, of course, without which none of this would have been possible. And thank you, of course, Jay and Ken for having us, and thank you, Cronos, for having us. It's a great blockchain to build on.
All right. Right. Thanks for sharing, and once again, right, for any information that you guys have heard, right, remember to do your own research, right, when it comes to choosing the platform to use, right, read into their white paper, read into their contracts in order to make sure that whatever platform that you're interacting with is safe and within your risk tolerance. Okay, so now let's move on to Q&A. I'm looking through the questions. We do have quite a few questions for almost all of our speakers here today. I'll first start off with the question that is related to Cronos, and that is where I think both Ken and I will be able to answer. Right. So I think the first one, it's from John. So what's the best way to promote my debt to Cronos users? Maybe Ken, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, thanks, Jay. So first of all, there are a few OG websites that have specialized in reporting on CroFarm and what's happening in the Cronos ecosystem, like the News Cronos Twitter account and the Chronicle. So I think those are good first ports of call for projects who are trying to reach a broader audience. Then I would say the next port of call would be wallet integrations. So if you look at the technical documentation of Cronos at docs.cronos.org, there's a section about wallet integrations for developers. And there you can see forms where you can apply to be integrated with the Crypto.com DeFi wallet, as well as Trust Wallet. And finally, and I think increasingly this year, there are websites that position themselves as kind of dApp stores, right? So storefronts where you can see various games or DeFi apps and understand their metrics and understand what they do. So the Alchemy infrastructure provider at alchemy.io has now a dApp discovery section. There's Versa Games as well, versagames.io, which showcases games from multiple chains and is going to start a Cronos page. So I think those would be the few things that jump to mind.
Okay, and I would say like the partnership that Cronos has with Crypto.com, where applications can apply to get listed, like get their dApps listed on the Crypto.com DeFi wallet, which then gives them the access to the huge CroFam user base. Okay, next question. So let me look through the one that is related to Cronos. Okay, by Pascal, right? Ken, going to take this as well, right? What is the status of cross-chain bridges on Cronos? I think this one, a lot of like developers and users would be keen to understand better if they have not understood.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that Cronos is one of the most conservative chains when it comes to the integration of cross-chain bridges. And the main reason for that is that cross-chain bridges are points of vulnerability when it comes to hacks and bugs, and have been points of vulnerability on other chains for most of 2022. So given that we're trying to make sure that we are suitable for mainstream users, I think we generally recommend that users use a centralized exchange, so their crypto.com account, in order to on-ramp and off-ramp from Cronos. That provides access to any other chain. And what we saw was that even during the drama that happened after FTX, like this method of on-ramping and off-ramping from Cronos never stopped working and remain fairly reliable. In contrast, with some bridges that interrupted some cross-chain connections for a short while. So I think the custodial exchange is the recommended method. In addition to that, of course, there is IBC connection today between Cronos and crypto.org, as well as Akash and Cosmos Hub. So IBC is a cross-chain bridge technology that is particularly suitable for the Cosmos SDK chains. And one of our plans for 2023 is to open more of those Cosmos bridges, but it really depends on user and developer demand. So if you're active in the Cronos ecosystem and you would like us to establish a particular connection to another Cosmos chain, please let us know.
Okay, thanks for that, Ken. Next one, right? How can we stake CRO on Cronos? Perhaps I can take this, right? So Cronos itself, the chain consensus is proof of authority, right? So all Crow staking doesn't happen on Cronos chain itself. It actually happens on the sister chain of Cronos called Crypto.org chain, where all Crow, like all native staking of Crow, happens on Crypto.org chain, right? Which is a proof of stake chain on Cosmos. Right, so for users, when you are staking your Crow natively, right, most of the staking would happen on the Crypto.org chain, which gives like native staking use. Okay, let's move on to there are some questions for like Bot Candy. I'm going to bring that up, right? So Maddie, these questions are for you. Right, so from Candy Lover, right, how far are you with Candy Pool, and will there be a mobile version for iOS, Android?
Okay. We haven't talked about this because we do have as well one Web3 game, which is not on mobile. And we've done that specifically because we didn't know how long the situation with Apple was going to last. So we wanted to be independent in some way. And we are also working on a second pool game on Web3. No, it's not planned to be on mobile, and it's being beta tested as we speak, so it'll be ready in a few days.
Okay. So also another question for Bot Candy by Panchef, right? What are your future marketing plans with other NFT projects or GameFi projects to increase the recognition, and where do you see Bot Candy in the next 1 to 2 years?
So for partnerships, we are very open to partnerships, and I say again here to anyone listening, and to you guys, just hit our Discord or DM me. I'm always open to all of it. And I think we're talking to almost every project in this space. I know we're talking to anyone about NFTs, about doing launchpads in our launchpad. We have one planned soon. It's the Imperium game. It's a cross-chain play-to-earn establishment that they're coming to Cronos and they'll be launching their token with us. So I think this is not something that you need to worry about because we will be doing this all the time. Where do I see Board Candy City in the next 1 to 2 years? I don't want to talk in terms of price or TPL. That's not really, again, the objective for us. For me, it's getting those mobile games downloaded by as many people as possible. Of course, we don't plan we do plan to compete with the big ones like King, the developer of Candy Crush. But if we manage to get in the next years just to 1% or 5% of those 250 million of their users, will be very happy, and I think everyone will be happy because that's new money coming in, and that would make our decks do some real yield initiatives because it's not just money already invested, but new money.
Okay, thanks. Right, next question would be to CroSkulls. Right, from Tate. Right, what is the Evo Skull collection? Yeah, so curious Viking.
First of all, thank you for the question, Tate. Now, the Evil Skull collection is a unique collection within our ecosystem where each Evil Skull is unique and inspired by different famous characters or artists. And there's only 333 of them, as you need to combine a red and blue potion within the laboratory section to create the purple potion, which you then use on your CroSkull to mint your Evo Skull. Now, I think there's less than 40 Evo Skulls remaining that are not minted.
Okay, so it's evolution version of CroSkulls.
Exactly.
Okay, next question for Cronosverse, Benny. Right. So my question is from Bunny. Right, my question is, what is your future plan for the Verse token?
So the Verse token, it's earned in a number of ways. So you can either stake your LP Croverse on Crodex.app to earn Verse rewards, or you can stake your Crovillion NFTs or your Landtile NFTs to earn Verse. And we just opened up new pools that just launched a few minutes ago on Crodex.app today. And the ultimate goal of the Verse token is to use that to mint digital assets to be used in games. So NFTs that are 3D items that are in game and that will later power our marketplace. The means of exchange within the game will all be done on the Verse token.
All right, so very interesting game loop, right? Farm the Verse token to buy your own Cronosverse assets to use in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question for you. By Sammy, right? Would there be more cities in the Cronosverse?
So our API for our Web3 connectivity is multi-chain. So we do have the ability to branch out to Ethereum, Solana, Matic, and a number of other chains right now. That's not in our short-term goals. Our goals is to grow the user base here on Cronos. We do have some additional properties that will be coming up for mint, which are offices, studio apartments, large apartments, and penthouse apartments that are going to be located in our downtown where all of our project partner buildings are. And in terms of land expansion or more cities, we...
Okay, right. Thanks for that. Okay, one more question for you, right? Does the Cronosverse like to use other NFTs? I saw that they have skins on Twitter. How does that work? Maybe you can summarize this in under a minute.
It's going to be hard to squeeze it all in, but we are constantly integrating new partners in. There's a whole bunch of NFTs that are integrated into the Cronosverse. So the Nifty Nanas, Nobodies, Crodex, Crobots, the list keeps growing, where if you own one of those items in your wallet, you're able to spawn those NFTs into the Cronosverse. So we're working on that. We're working on bringing in more project partners. We're working on bringing more utility for those people that have partnered with us in their buildings as well. So the best way to get information on that is just reach out to our team, follow us on Twitter, and be active in our Discord, and you get all the latest and greatest on who whose NFTs are working in the game.
Okay. So one more question. I'll direct this to Ian and then open the floor later, right? So by Algo Champ Cav, it's a very general question. How have the projects gone about user acquisition and community growth, right? Especially we are in a bear market. How have you guys managed your marketing budgets as the investor disappear?
And is this one to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we strategically, we could have launched back when the market was high. We had kind of a lot of the utility ready, but we decided to launch strategically in a bear market because the only way then is possibly up. And while we're building, we marketed it. We marketed this like strategically, and it's been hard, but we currently trading around 600k market cap with one of the good marketing tools we used was staking, and like Cronoverse, we also on Crodex. We are staking pool on there. I think there's around 200k stake. So we only did that short term for 6 months because long term obviously sustainability. So just to get us through this bear market.
Okay. Anyone else on this panel wants to take this question?
I think that yes, people are afraid during this bear market, and they come in from an ex-banker. Even in traditional finance, people used to say that whenever the market is down, people keep their money in their home. They don't really take them to the bank. So that is normal. But Cronos has been strong enough, I think, that communities getting back there. We see that TVL is growing a lot slowly and slower than during bull market, of course. But this is when all the building happens. I like to remind everyone with that phrase that Chris, the CEO of CroSkulls, says is that whatever you build during the bear market will just bring fruit in the bull market, and that's what we keep doing. We just don't look at the bear market. For us particularly, we do have other sources of revenue. So this is not, again, my first rodeo as an entrepreneur, as head of a startup, and I think I've even heard Ken say this. Whenever you have other sources of revenue, don't just be in a hassle to quit your job and start the startup and think that you're gonna make money right away. This is the last thing you do is pay yourself. So anything we make today goes back to the community. Anything we make goes to marketing, and until that my salary becomes that very thin line, then yeah, I can pay myself. And this is what we need to do until bull market comes back.
Yeah, maybe Ken, anything you want to add to just projects in the space in general?
No, I mean, so I think that the clarity of the value proposition is also part of what's becoming essential when times are tough. I think there's a risk of going into many directions for some of the projects that we see on Cronos and on other chains that must be resisted in order to focus all resources on the highest ROI activities.
All right. So I'll just bring on one last question. I think it's directed to either me or Ken, right? There's a new Cronos NFT Twitter account. Is it official? So not from my knowledge that there is any official Cronos NFT Twitter account, right? So for any NFT related news that are official, right, that would be from the Cronos Chain Twitter account directly, or there are a couple of grassroots news Twitter account like Cronos News, Crow Research, the Chronicles that come up with news article, right? But personally, I've not heard of any official Cronos NFT Twitter account. And right
Yeah,
with
I
that,
I can confirm it. It's not. It's a fake.
yeah.
We're just going to jump in and say there is one with a blue tick, and they keep sending me spaces. So just be aware. Yeah, it's not the official one. We gathered that. So just be vigilant, guys, in this bear market. Just do your own research.
All right, thanks, Ian. Right, and with that, we come to the end of this episode of Chrono Stream. Right, thanks once again, firstly to all the speakers, right, Ken, Ian, Maddie, Viking, Manny, right, for taking the time to come onto this stream to share about your projects and share about yourself. And thanks for all our viewers today for taking the time to listen into this stream. Right, we stream on a bi-weekly basis, right, so keep follow our Twitter account and our YouTube channel, right, to keep updated on the next Corona stream. Right. So once again, right, thanks everyone for tuning in. Okay, goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.